Hey everybody, Roadrunner Tutorials here with another Adobe Premiere tutorial. Today we're going to be making this glitch effect right here. Let's get started. To start off, we have to have obviously a video file, and this is a video I took last year of me just kind of playing hockey in my backyard. The puck actually goes off the crossbar, up in the air. I was able to catch it and throw it back down, do a couple stick handles, and rip it bar down, as they like to say in the hockey world. We're going to make a new sequence from the source clip, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out exactly where the puck hits the crossbar. And if I go ahead and I hit Option plus and Command plus, that will make the thumbnail right here and the waveform a little bit bigger in my timeline, easier to see. So we can actually see right here that there's a little spot on the waveform where something happens, and what do you know? It is the puck hitting the crossbar. So if we go frame by frame using our arrow keys, you'll be able to hear that little pop right there. So we're going to go ahead and hit M on our keyboard to make a marker. And now for our song. I can leave a link for this song in the description below. I actually got it on YouTube Audio Library. So if we just kind of play through, we can hear there is a nice drop right there, and that's where I've done this glitch effect on a few videos, and that's where I personally like to make the glitch happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this on our timeline. We're going to go ahead and zoom in and mute this channel, or we could even just solo the music, and we're going to listen for the drop, and we can again go frame by frame. And oops, we can hit M for marker, but make sure you have the music selected this time, not the video. And then if you have your snapping tool on, which you can do by hitting S on the keyboard, and you'll notice this little, it's actually just a magnet, will show up right there. If it's blue, your snapping is on, and we can zoom in and we can get these markers to match. There we go. You'll notice that little line pops up there. And if we go back here, we can go over to the marker and we can zoom all the way in using the plus and the minus, and we'll know that they match up exactly. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to minimize this a little bit more. We actually need to go into Effects, and we're going to go ahead and type in RGB, and it should be this color balance with RGB in the parentheses. We're going to drag that onto our video file, and it should pop up here in the effects control panel. We're going to go ahead and go under opacity first, and we're going to go to the blending mode, and we're going to go to screen. Oh, there it is. Now what we need to do is duplicate this video file. So I'm actually going to hit Alt and hold it down on my keyboard while I click on the video. That will duplicate it, and we're going to go ahead and do it again. So now we have 3 of the exact same video file. You'll notice it looks a little weird because they're all set to screen. It looks a little washed out. We're going to go over here to color balance, and under the top one, under red, we're going to go 100. And then if you hit tab, it will automatically go to green. And then we're going to change that one to 0. And blue, we're also going to change to 0. You'll notice it looks a little weird. It's definitely red. Then we're going to go to the second one, and we're going to change red to 0, green to 100, and blue to 0. Now we're going to go here, and you guessed it, we're going to change everything to 0 but the blue. And now it should look much like our original. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the marker, and you can do that by, if you want to get exact, if you hold Shift while you're scrubbing through, it will actually, you'll see it snap to the marker. And we're going to go ahead and set position and scale keyframes here for all 3 videos. Now we have to figure out exactly how long we want this to be. I think a full second is a little bit too long, but for sanity's sake, we can do that. So we're going to go 1 second ahead. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make the exact same keyframes. So I like to start with the top one. You can use this go to previous keyframe by clicking right here. We're going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. And we can actually just go a few frames and click here, and then I'm going to use my arrow keys and go ahead and change the position values. Not too much, just a little bit, and I'm actually going to change the scale to 102, and I'm going to go a few more frames, change them again, a few more frames, change them again. So go ahead and we're going to do this for all the space between here and the last keyframes. So now that we have the top video, the red one done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to the green, and we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. And you can also, another way of doing this, you can just click the motion right up here, and if you move it very slightly, you'll notice it makes a keyframe right there. So if you don't want to use the numbers, you can just kind of move the image around. It's really a preference thing. By using the motion, it is quicker, but at the same time, you're more likely to accidentally move it drastically, just because with the numbers, you can move it, per pixel at a time. It's all a preference thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that now too. Now that we have the second video file done, you guessed it, we're going to go ahead and do the third. So after you've done all that and you have it rendered, this is what mine looks like. So as you can see, after a lot of fine tuning and going back and forth, rendering it and making a few changes, I'm finally pretty happy with what I've done here. There we go, we have the video done. Now, all we really need to do for the text is hit T on our keyboard to create a text. And if you drag it to where the marker is, you'll see that it snaps. And we can go ahead and do the exact same thing once again that we did with the video. Go to opacity, change it to the screen. Hold Alt on our keyboard to duplicate the text. I'm gonna go ahead and change all the values of the color. We're basically just redoing exactly what we just did. So now that we have the text on the timeline, all their blending modes are set to screen, and we have the RGB channels changed for red, green, and blue. We're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing we did with the video to the text. Now, one thing you'll probably notice with yours, as with mine, is that all of these are set to screen. So you can actually see through it, which is not the coolest looking thing. So we can go ahead and come here, highlight all the text, right click, and go nest, and we're gonna go Roadrunner text. So that's great. The one thing I did with the example that I did not do here was I created a drop shadow for the text itself. We can go up to effects, type in drop shadow. I actually have a preset that I like and I made myself, and boom, there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Have a good one.